725-205-9223. Visit online at zinworld.com or stop by their location at 9895 South Maryland Parkway and Silverado Ranch Parkway. Mention KSHP for 10% off in-store or use code KSHP online for 15% off.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
Hungry for the best barbecue in Las Vegas? Come out to the infamous barbecue and meat market, John Mole's Meats and Roadkill Grill in Las Vegas. John Mole's was featured on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now take home delicious meat selections for your grill, and while you're there, grab a bite of the best barbecue in Las Vegas. With 2 locations now at Tom and Gowan or on North Decatur, you're sure to find the perfect meats for your next barbecue or party. Find us online at johnmolemeats.com.
Live from Las Vegas, this is the Wayne Coy Show.
Mommies, how many times do you say get in the car in the morning? 1,600,000, right? Get in the car, get in the car, get in the car, get in the car, get in the car. Right? You know the children aren't stupid. I know, they've had them tested. But still.
Hey, what the song say? You can't trust that day, Debi Gutierrez?
Yeah, but it's 1/7 of our lives, so come on.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not going to look at it that way. It's also, I just saw this morning. It's Mercury retrograde. If you're into all of that, do you know what that is? Have you heard of that?
I don't.
Okay. That's where, I guess something happens planetary wise where Mercury is in retrograde, which would seem to mean it's wearing bell bottoms and puka shells. And then it screws everything up. So anything electronic you don't want to do while you're in Mercury retrograde. So this is me holding my hands up.
Okay,
I'm not going to touch anything. And I'm just going to one more time try to say, hello, Debi Gutierrez.
It is time to throw cinnamon out your door, though. You sweep a little cinnamon outside your front door on the first of the month.
Okay. And it's it's May Day, right? Isn't there the maypole and all that?
Yeah. And comedians are some of the most superstitious people you can be around.
Comedians and baseball players, I think.
Oh yeah, baseball players. I forgot about them. They're real superstitious. And those Catholics, good God.
Don't get them started.
Jeez.
Well, as the little thing underneath us says there, Debi Gutierrez at the Comedy Club, Brad Garrett's Comedy Club at the MGM Grand, the 8th through the 10th of May. So that's coming up here pretty quick. What's tougher for you? Are you there for the week?
For the week, Monday through Sunday, ending on Mother's Day. So Brad always brings me in for Mother's Day, and then he joins on the weekend. And so he's on stage with me on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it is such a ball because the first of the week I get like maybe 40 minutes with the audience. And then he comes on and I maybe get 5 or 6 because I don't know. It's so fun working with Brad because you don't know if he's behind you. Like people are laughing and you're like, he's behind me, right? Yeah. So you just never know. But yes,
I would think as tall as he is, Debi, I would think you'd know if he was behind you. But apparently not.
No. I'll be in the middle of a setup and the audience is laughing. I'm like, well, the setup is killing. And he's behind me. Yeah. So, and I forget how tall he is because we're really good friends. We've been very close for years and I don't realize how tall he is. And I think that's true with most friends because if we're going to lunch or dinner or whatever, you don't realize it unless you're walking next to them. Then it's like, oh, go ahead, Brad, I'll be there.
Yeah, that's me walking with my wife as she laps me. I can't keep up because her legs are so stinking long, you know? Oh, well. Hey, so being a grandma, is that, now are you the grandmommy comic now? Did you have to add? Ah.
Oh my God, you know this business. Everybody's all hush hush about their age, and it's so funny because somebody is producing a documentary about Latina comics over the age of 50, and I'm the only one that admitted to over the age of 50. I'm like, woo, documentary special about
everybody
me.
else was like, I'm not going to tell you nothing.
How can you hide kids that are 38? You know, come on. So
yeah, I feel you there. You sort of you got a whole new, I would think, source for material, though, right? I mean, the little one's going to give you something new every 5 minutes.
yeah, you know, it's such a different time than when I got married and raised kids. And like, you know, and I talk about trends on stage like a baby moon, you know, where these couples now they go on a baby moon, which is like they get the word from honeymoon, and they go on these exotic vacations and spend a lot of money, and they get mentally and spiritually and emotionally ready for baby, ready for baby, ready for baby. I'm like, this is how you get ready for baby. First of all, you save every damn dime you can, and you don't go anywhere. And then you set your alarm clock to go off every 2 hours in the middle of the night. And, you know, that's how you get ready for baby.
That's your baby moon right there.
That's your baby moon right there.
Did it all come back to you as second nature, having been mom and done it all?
Just things that I forgot about, you know, like toddlerhood. Oh my gosh, it's like living with a dictator. And, you know, and like something he loved yesterday that he loved. I go, Grandma, I love that song. And then I sing it the next day, and he literally, so I'm like, you love this crap yesterday.
What happened?
Yeah. And then when we FaceTime, sometimes he looks past me, and if my husband Travis is working and can't get to the phone, he's like, I gotta go. Click.
How is Travis, by the way? Is he acclimating to grandfatherhood?
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. I think grandfathers will always be the same. They'll always be that person that throws you a little too high, gives you a little too much sugar. Yeah.
Ceiling fan. Whoops.
That's you off. You're fine. You're fine. That's all grandpas say. You're fine. You're good.
You're fine. Yeah, but the funny thing is, if you do that very same stuff as a dad, you're considered to be like an idiot, you know? Grandpa gets away with it.
Yeah.
I remember I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's because I think they realize your value as grandparents as they go on. Like, oh, you know, would you like me to come babysit? Woo, that kid comes flying through your door.
You just hit the nail on the head right there. It's that availability, I think, that at least in my experience, because we're up to 5 grandkids now, and we don't live near any of them. So it's very, very hard, but it's also freeing in a way because you're not on speed dial. So that's kind of cool. When you come over, you're coming over on your terms, and you just got off an airplane, so you get a little slack for that. Versus, oh, you're right down the street. You're like a light switch. It's grandma time, right?
Yeah. So I came out here for 2 weeks. This is my second week here, and it's beautiful and peaceful. We're in the middle of Pennsylvania. They live on 53 acres of land. It's just gorgeous and peaceful, and it's so different from LA. So different. And
did you grow up in LA? Are you a Los Angelino? Okay, so
so always in Southern California. And so it's just weird, like little things like watching the local news and nobody has plastic surgery. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, why do the anchors look odd? And I realized, oh, nobody has plastic surgery.
And had any work done.
Yeah. So
and it's not just the news, Debbie. It's a trip to the store, right? I mean, everybody in line with you at the grocery store hasn't had plastic surgery.
And they're very nice to you, and very conversational. And I'm just kind of not used to that from Southern California. So,
Don't look at me. Don't make eye contact.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, are you tempted to stay and just say the heck with this? Call Brad Garrett and say, forget it. I'm stuck in Pennsylvania with my grandkid.
No, because I do love what I do. I mean, I'm getting to that age where most people get to, like, am I going to continue with this? Am I going to slow down a little bit? Am I going to, go full force? Am I going to reinvent myself? And I'm entertaining all that right now because the world of comedy and stage has certainly changed. And we saw it with COVID, and we saw these TikTokers who are hilarious. I'm not going to be one of those comics like they're not funny. They're funny for about 3 minutes, minutes at a shot, but they can't hold an audience for 45 to an hour. But they sell tickets. So it's kind of a conundrum, and, so I'm grateful.
Are you finding a lot of those TikTokers are touring TikTokers now? Are they out
yeah.
Really? I did not know this.
Because they sell tickets, Wayne. They sell tickets.
Gotcha.
But again, they can't go more than, and they're hilarious and they're nice people. But, a seasoned comic knows how to, entertain hard for 30 minutes, bring it down during the check drop, and then bring it back up and close the show. So, they have some things to learn about Showtime, how that works. Different than looking at your phone. But they're funny. They're funny. They're so young. I mean,
so when you were that young, the typical way to get it done was to go and get stage time somewhere, anywhere, as much as you could, right?
Yeah, and you couldn't, press your phone, click on something on your phone and get millions of people watching you at a time. It really was whoever could see you at that club that you were at, I was listening to a podcast today. Do you ever listen to Mark Mayron's podcast?
No.
Oh my gosh, he's so good. He has everything from Obama. He does a lot of comedians, but I was listening to his podcast today with Bud Friedman, and Bud's talking about the day when they were building up, the Improv and the Comedy Store, and then Jamie comes in with the Laugh Factory, and I was there when they were all at their height, and so it was pretty typical for me to do all 3 rooms in one night.
Yeah, jump in the car and get over there as fast as that little Toyota would take you.
Oh my gosh. And sometimes you'd be with another comedian and you would just drive around, drop that comedian off and come pick them up and they would switch into the driver's seat and then they would drive around so you didn't have to find parking.
Wow.
And yeah. I remember those days.
So in a way, I mean, do you kind of wish you had it as easy as they do now? Because boy, you're right. One push of a button and
I learned a lot. I learned how to be confident. I learned how to travel. I learned how to drive in any kind of weather. I learned how to read a map and a Thomas guide. Yeah. I mean, when these people bitch about the road, I just feel like saying, shut the F up. I mean, come on. You have no idea. It's not, when you get off a plane and you got to figure out a taxi or rent a car or, and they tell you on the directions, like where on the, what was that map that Thomas guide?
Yeah.
Where the coordinates were. And you had to read that. Yeah.
Big book.
So
yeah.
So I had to learn all that. And I'm glad I did.
Some would probably accuse me of being on his payroll, but I'm not. It's just that it was a time in my life that I remember. So I'm going to ask you, does the name John Yoder ring a bell with you at all?
Yeah.
Did you work for him?
No, I don't think. What did he own? Or what?
He was an agent who handled comedians in the Midwest primarily. No. And all the gigs were like 9 hours apart. And so
those one-nighter things?
Yes.
No, I was very, very lucky that my first night as a stand-up, I hadn't thought about this in a long time. I took a class and the graduating class does a set. And I had, I think, a 17-minute set, which is pretty long for a newcomer. But I was a teacher before that. And if you want somebody to learn something, give it to a teacher because they'll figure it out.
Sure.
So I figured out how to do it. And I loved comedy. I loved it. I wanted to be a comedian since I was 6, but no parent goes, you should be a comedian. So anyways, I did my set, and there was a guy in the audience who took my phone number down, and then he gave it to a manager. He passed a little bit ago, Howard Lapidus, and Howard and his partner Rick Bernstein were big, in the comedy world. I mean, they were managing. Who were they managing at the time? I can't remember offhand right now, but they were big, right? And so I went to go see them. It's so funny because I go, well, I can't see you until the school break. And they're like, do you know who we are? I'm like, do you know who I am? I've got kids that I got to teach. I can't just drop everything and come see you. I didn't realize how big they were. And so they were able to make phone calls and just get me kind of to the front of the line. I know that sounds terrible, but once I was there, I had to really prove it. You had your one shot and that was it.
Sure.
So they got me into, they kind of fast forwarded me, but I was ready. It wasn't a favor.
You hit the nail on the head, though. If it's one thing to get the opportunity, it's another thing to do what you need to do to take advantage of that moment, right?
Right. And I was a real rule follower. And so the things I learned in comedy class, like don't drink, don't socialize and not socialize with the wait staff. Don't smoke, don't take people's jokes. Don't make fun of the crowd size. Just all those little things that I learned, it made me a real pro when I got on stage. And I just, and I was a mom. I had two little ones at home. So I didn't have time to mess around. I didn't have time to get on stage and figure out if this joke worked. I went to the park with other moms. I'm like, hey, you guys think this is funny? And I would practice with them because they were my target audience.
You had like a built-in focus group, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't want to waste people's time and money going up there with a notebook saying, hey, does this work? No, they paid good money. They paid for drinks. They paid for a sitter, And so, yeah, I just came out of the gate prepared. So
who are some of the comics that you can remember sharing a bill with at that stage? Any names we'd know?
Ian Bagg. Oh, David Iglesias.
Really?
He came to one of my shows. He was like 17 and he came to the show and he goes, just want to be a stand-up. That's all I want to do. Can I talk to you? Can I buy you a drink and talk to you? 17. You can't buy me a drink. So
you can buy me one, but I'm going to card you first.
Yeah. So I sat down with Gabe at an event and he was just taking notes and he was just drinking it all up. And then he came out of the gate at 18 and so I was there by his side for those years. And then I remember being on the road with him, or he was on the road with me at the time, on his 21st birthday. And all the guys were like, we're going to take you to strip club, Gabe. And they get to the strip club and it's too expensive. So they just took Gabe in the parking lot and they watched the girls walk to their cars. And I'm like, honey, it's not always going to be like this. It's not always going to be like this. But
running across the lot with a dollar bill in your hand.
Right. So, and then Travis produced the his first couple albums. So I saw Gabe grow from a very young guy to this seasoned comic. And that's been
Was he fluffy at that age? Was he fluffy?
No. You mean chunky?
Yeah. His word is fluffy, I think.
Yeah. And I remember getting on a Southwest flight with him coming home from the first Latino Laugh Festival. And I had been breastfeeding a baby then. And so I had to get home and breastfeed. So like the first 20 minutes of that flight was all these questions about breastfeeding. I'm like, oh my God, we can talk comedy. But he was really fascinated. Like, so does it hurt? What happens if there's no milk? Is it just air? I remember him asking me that. I'm like, no, not just air. So, so fluffy.
Okay. Do you stay in touch with him now?
He was in Pittsburgh the first week I got here. And so we texted back and forth because I'm here. So, but yeah, I hear from him. Yeah, he's very busy, but always very sweet. And most of my texts are like continued success or, I'm so happy to see what you're doing. So,
I know I'm sure he puts you on a pedestal and deservedly so. I can tell you this, in 2005, he was on my show in Richmond, Virginia, where I was at the time. And he came in the studio, super nice guy. And he goes, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to do you a favor." I said, "What's that?" He goes, "I'm going to get you some new clothes." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, just follow my lead." I said, "Okay." So we go on the air. He asked me the name of the local big and tall place. So I wasn't quite sure. We looked it up. I told him what it was. He goes, "All right, just stay where you are and watch what I do." So he goes on the air and he goes, "Hey, as soon as we get off the air, we're going to go over to blah, 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 big and tall shop."
What?
He goes, "My buddy Wayne here and we're going to go in." He goes, "I need some new clothes for tonight's show. Hopefully they got what I need, but I'd like to make sure Wayne gets something nice too." Like that, just completely did like a live commercial for this place that he'd never been to before. Literally, we got off the air. I got off the air. I went into the break room there, and about an hour later, I didn't go with him, but an hour later, he comes back to the station with a bag. And inside the bag are 2 shirts, really nice ones, by the way, kind of nice Hawaiian things that he picked up. They didn't charge him a dime. He just shouted them out on the air.
Of course not. Of course not. Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. He's on a video. If you YouTube me, I've got a couple things on YouTube that I'm really proud of. And one of them is my husband surprised me by contacting a lot of my friends in comedy and club owners, agents, comics, managers, and they wished me a happy 25th anniversary. And this was 5 years ago. And he's on there, and Ralph Harris, Brad Garrett, Sherry Shepard, all these comics that I've worked with throughout the years who all said, happy. Alonzo Bowden. Alonzo Bowden's one of my dearest friends, and he's in Vegas right now. He's got the week.
I was just going to say,
Brad.
we did a corporate together, Alonzo and I and one other comic. It was beginning of the year, not this year, but last year in January. It was for a convention, and I was, MC guy, and he was comedian guy. And I couldn't even deliver my lines. That's how hard I was laughing. I mean, he's
my gosh, he's so
hilarious.
funny.
He's like an assassin.
Yeah. And so I love Alonzo. He did my podcast when the pandemic hit. I've been on the Chew and the View, and I talk about being this mom and wife who would leave for a couple weeks at a time, and how I would prep my kitchen and all that, and meal prep. And so they brought me on the View, they brought me on the Chew, and that's kind of my angle. So when the pandemic hit, I go, I know how to cook. I'm going to teach people how to cook with what's in their fridge, what's in their pantry. I can do this. And so Alonzo came on my podcast, and we looked in his refrigerator, and like everything is Italian appliances, gorgeous home. And he opens the fridge, and there's nothing but water.
Are you serious?
No food.
What does he DoorDash every meal or something?
Every meal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
what about you? Do you take advantage of the delivery services that are out there now?
They're fun, but man, they can get pricey. Yeah. And it's so funny because I go visit people who have just nothing but menus on their fridge, and they just pull them off. Hey, here's where we're going next. But I knew the pandemic was real when Alonzo Bowden got a dog. And I'm like, oh man, we're not going anywhere for a while. If Alonzo got a dog, that means he's home.
Staying put. Yeah. In fact, this was during the pandemic. The thing we did together was a weird thing because they didn't cancel the convention. They had it, but it was virtual. Okay. So everything was like what we're doing now.
Tough. Yeah, those are tough.
It's real tough. But hey, he was good about doing the comedy and connecting through, a little laptop computer camera or whatever.
Yeah.
He was fantastic that way. How did you do your cooking show during the pandemic?
So I went to the grocery store and I came back in tears, and I told my husband, people are just so scared out there, and what they have is limited, in the grocery store. And we didn't know at the time. We didn't know how this was being spread. People were looking like surgeons and full blown everything and sanitizing and it was just, and some stores took advantage and hiked up prices, and pasta shelves were empty, and it just felt so foreign. So I told my husband, turn the camera on me. I want to talk to my friends. And I said, we've got this. We're going to go through pantries and freezers and refrigerators, and we're going to talk to neighbors and start building meals that you might have forgotten. like sloppy joes and stuffed bell peppers and macaroni and cheese and quesadillas and just like that food that you had at home, you know?
You're killing me. I mean, literally killing me.
Chili beans and soups. And so then Travis got involved. And once Travis got involved, it turned into this whole production. And we did this cooking show from our kitchen with 3 or 4 cameras. And we did Restream, and we did, we could see comments from people. And then neighbors started to leave us things at our doorstep. It was so odd. We'd open the door and there'd be limes and lemons and figs and pasta, and you know, just because if they went shopping, they would buy something and they would leave it on our doorstep. Avocados with it, and then we taught people how to cook. We taught people
grab something for Debbie.
Yeah,
we're at Vaughn's. We need a Debbie bag. Hurry up!
Oh my gosh, we did the one show was quesadillas because I'm like the easiest thing in the world. And so then our neighbors were like, "Oh, my mom's visiting. She would like a quesadilla." I'm like, "Okay, we'll cook it for her right now." That was the beauty of having it live, you know?
Sure.
And so we would, and then neighbors started texting what kind of quesadilla they wanted. So I think we delivered 23 quesadillas that day, just left them outside the door and they would come pick them up. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
and
I got to ask you this. I'm glad you brought it up because I've always had a debate about the quesadilla. Hopefully I said that the right way. Not Napoleon Dynamite where it was a quesadilla. Remember? Do you deep fry it? The quesadilla? No, you don't.
I think that's an American thing. Like fajitas are an American thing, and churros are an American thing, and the deep fried burrito. I think those are Americanized versions.
We'll fry anything here in America.
I know, right? I'm in Philadelphia. They fry everything and then put it on top of a salad. I'm like, why are French fries part of a salad?
Because they are.
And then I hate this really great potato chip at Trader Joe's because we went shopping out here. And I asked my husband to buy some in California. And he said they don't sell them in California because they contain lead. I'm like,
oh, you know what? That's probably real. He's probably not even making that up.
No. He said, I can't find them. They said there's a Proposition 65 or whatever. So there's lead in them. So they'll eat potato chips with lead out here.
There's a famous potato chip from Pennsylvania, isn't it? Like, I think Hers, maybe HERRS, one of those.
I'm gonna go look for it.
Yeah, I think it's Philly famous. I'm pretty sure you can get it at Jersey Mike's. They sell them, and I think they're out of Philly. I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. So you're telling me definitively that when you make the quesadilla, you don't put it in butter or oil and fry the outside of it. No. We did like this big quesadilla bar. So we had different grated cheeses. We had chilies. We had bacon. I had a little bag of shrimp in the freezer. So we stir fried some shrimp, onions, you know, and it was like, and so they would just tell us what they wanted in their quesadilla and we would just make it and wrap it up. And there you go. Cause a lot of these food shows during the pandemic were like, you get your Fontina cheese. I'm like, who has Fontina cheese? Nobody has Fontina cheese. I'll show you how to make a good mac and cheese with what you have. Damn straight.
So, yeah. So
yeah, I think that. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. And sometimes giving people permission to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for dinner. We were under a lot of stress during the pandemic, and it's like, you know what? PBJs all around, and some cheeses.
You can't beat it.
Yeah, but I think people were we had people connecting over all the different states, and then there was that big storm in Texas, and we had several people watching in Texas that actually connected with each other to help each other out. And the only way they knew each other was through the show. And so we just built this great community that we were really proud of. We did 100 shows and then we called it a day because, you know, grocery stores started to open up again. So
I would think that content would be evergreen though. You could continue watching that. Oh, somebody's calling right now, Debbie. They want to know if they can have a quesadilla. So I'm going to tell them to call back later. They heard. See, word gets out quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those shows, I was saying they're out there though. If you want to watch them, are they on YouTube?
On YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. And something else I have just got released last month on YouTube that I'm really proud of is I did a TED Talk. And the hardest thing I've ever done in my life
I'll do.
It took me eight months to write it, and every single word is vetted, and you have to memorize every single word. It has to pass all this coaching. It's really hard. But I stepped up to the plate to do it. And it was about how I have a transgender child. And since I talk about my children on stage, when my transgender child came out, it was hard. Like, what do I do with this? I don't know. Will I be canceled? Will people hate me? Will they make fun of me? Will they make fun of my child? Which is absolutely not. And at the time, comedians were doing a lot of jokes about transgender people and kicking them in the gut. And that wasn't going to be me. So I left my kids at the same age for years and didn't talk about it and just left them at that age. And at one point I'm like, I'm not authentic anymore. It's just, so I got some help. And then I told, my daughter, my youngest daughter, she goes, I'm going to help you with this, Mom. She goes, okay, we got to learn about the vocabulary. And so she was going, okay, you're cisgender, Mom. I'm like, I don't think I'm that. And she goes, no, you're cisgender. And she explained what it is. I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. So all cisgender means is I'm a woman. I identify as a woman. That's it. And transgender means somebody who, like my child, was born male, but identifies as female. So that's transgender. And then there's gender fluid. She started naming all these off. And I go, wait. Because she got
a lot to take in.
It's a lot. Yeah. And she said asexual. And I'm like, what? Because as a parent, you're like, there are certain words you respond to, like fire, or we have a warrant, and sex. You're like, sex? What did you say about sex?
Yeah.
So she goes, asexual.
You're not allowed to use that word.
Right. And she goes, and I go, what's asexual? She goes, that's someone who doesn't want sex at all. I said, oh my God, that's me. And she said, no, Mommy, you're just tired. And so we laughed so hard. I'm like, you know what? Maybe this can be something I talk on stage, because I laughed and she laughed. And then I told my mom about my child, and she was quiet for a long time. And she goes, I like the transgender people. I just don't like that Kardashian one. I'm like, oh, Mom, nobody likes her. Nobody likes her.
I just heard why I was watching an interview with O.J. Simpson. I have no idea, but he was telling some stories from back in those days that I guess only he would know. But he said that you kind of knew where things were headed way early, and I guess you do, right? I mean, if that's who you are.
Yeah, and I think the person who is going through it is a couple years ahead of you, but they still don't know how to. And I have to say, the last 5 years, we've had so much more education about what's going on. We're sharing language. We know more people. And I'm so proud of my TED Talk, because it talks about how I developed an understanding. I incorporated it into my act. I am teaching people what it means to be transgender, or to love someone who's transgender, to be careful who you hate, because could be somebody you love. And I'm just really, really proud of it. And so it's, if you go to TED Talk with my name, it's there on YouTube to see. And it's a great 10-minute speech. And I'm just really, really proud of it.
Are they all 10 minutes? Is that the idea?
They're all 10 to 12 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and hard to do. No,
I was just going to say, everybody that I know that's done one has said, and I know now you're like the third person I know, and they've all said the same thing, which is, it's way harder than you think.
And there are comedians that they've brought on, and it's easy for them because they just do their set. Angela Johnson, Maz Jorbani, they did their set. And so that's easy. But they're with me. They go, look, you're a comedian that has something important to say, and you are more than a comedian. And I had never heard that. You can do this, and it's important for you to do this. And then I had really great people like Ian Bagg and Craig Robinson, who championed me and said, don't go for the laughs. If they laugh at something, because it has some levity, don't hooked into the laugh.
That was my question. Were you able to keep it sort of light at times? Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes naturally to you.
No, because that's what they
No.
were warning me about. It's like there's the first year off where you're like, "Hey, I got more," and you got to stay in that teaching, informative.
Sure. Well, you
state of
started
mind.
off as a teacher, so
Yeah.
it's almost like you kind of go back to your roots in that regard.
So, and so I sent the link to those guys to Ian and Craig, and they couldn't be prouder. And just that, and they were right. I was more than a comedian. I could be somebody who could bring something important to the table and make it palatable for everybody to go, okay, this is what this looks like. It's not the end of the world. It's, let's share some language, let's share some ideas, and they're still your kids. So you still hey, get a job, get a job.
I went through the education. I got it all down now. Now go get a job.
Yeah. And I talked to people in the LBGTQ, and they want that from their parents. They want to have those boundaries. And boundaries makes a kid feel safe. And
Sure.
so you're still a parent. You still have ideas and dreams. Your dreams shift a little bit, but you still have goals. So I'm really, really proud of that work.
I would be too if I were you. Very good.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Hey, so the daughter that gave you the education, what's her name?
Pilar. You remember Pilar? She was like this big, and she had a voice like she was playing nickel slots and smoking her whole life.
Do you know what? I was just going to tell you, I remember her kind of taking over our newsroom at the radio station, and I didn't think we were going to be able to get her out of there. No, she was having fun. She was drawing for you or something while she was in there.
Oh my gosh.
And I think she was deep into her project, so we just had to let her finish.
Oh my gosh. We went to Vegas and she was 4 at the time.
Yeah.
And there was a knock at the hotel door, and she goes, "Oh, that's housekeeping with my rollaway." I'm like, "Oh, you're playing Vegas too much. You're coming with mommy." And then I couldn't find her. I was playing the Riv at the time, and I couldn't find her. And they had taken her upstairs to see the drag show, Frank Marino's drag show. And so I went to go get her, and she goes, "Mom, my favorite is coming right now." And it was, I think, Tammy Wynette. And I'm like,
yeah.
And she had a drink with all these cherries in it. They made my drink just the way I like it. And
oh my
so
gosh.
we're walking out of there, and she tells the door guy, "Bye, Sean." He goes, "Bye, Pilar." And I'm like, you know what? No more Vegas. You're going to kindergarten. You're going to kindergarten.
Yeah. She was 4 years old, ordering rollovers. Rollaway beds. I love that.
Rollaway beds, yeah.
So what's next for you, Debi Gutierrez? What do you do? I mean, you're going to keep doing stand-up. There's no way you'll ever stop, I don't think. But what else you want to do?
I'm so grateful that guys that really like me are, I work with Arsenio Hall and Jay Leno and, of course, Brad Garrett. And so, I mean, you couldn't ask for better. You couldn't ask for better brothers in this business, Mm-hmm. And so, and there are times, Wayne, that I'm like packing my stuff to go. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. It's too old. I want to left. And then to get on stage, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. And then I get off stage and I tell Travis, get me to the hospital because I think I pulled something. And it's so funny because my doctor who tests me for diabetes, he says, why does your sugar go up at a certain time of night? And I said, oh, I'm a stand-up. I get excited and the adrenaline kicks in. He goes, can you do your show and not get excited? I'm like,
nope.
What? Yeah. Are you new? So I love it. I love it. I'm thinking that hopefully with more coverage of my TED Talk that I can get out there and talk to some groups about, what it's like to have a child in the LGBTQ. Or really anybody, Wayne, because we've all had kids that go off the rail. We all have kids that they're going one direction, they go in another one, and you're like, whoa, what do I do? And, because
we have 6 different rails. I mean, they're all unique, and they all do their thing in their way. And all you can do is just sort of try to understand them and keep on loving them. Right.
So I think the talk talks to a lot of parents like that, Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that the talk with enough press and buzz around it will create those opportunities for me to talk to groups.
So you go to you go to TED Talk's website and you just type in DEBI, I would imagine, because that's unique. And
my name, Debi Gutierrez. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
pop up. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking forward
On
to that.
YouTube.
And
On
I'm sorry we
YouTube.
got the on YouTube at the TED Talk
YouTube.
channel,
Yeah,
right?
you go to YouTube. You can go YouTube, my name, and it's the first one that comes up, or you can go to my website, which is just my name, and it comes right up. So yeah, I would love to get some more views on that.
Would you mind if we just played it on the air? Would that be okay?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I don't know what the TED Talk people will have to say about that, but
I think that it matters. I mean, it's streaming.
I kind of want to
So-
hear it now. I want to hear what you had to say.
Yeah, it's odd to see me measured, slow, staying in the red circle, you know. But I'm really proud of myself. It showed me that I could do something other than comedy, and I'm real proud of it. Real proud of it. God, I'm going blank on his name. Well, Jimmy Brogan, who has worked closely with Jay Leno and Fritz Coleman. That's his name. Do you remember Fritz Coleman?
No, but I know Jimmy Brogan. No,
Yeah.
I don't know Fritz.
So they told me, and I have a picture. Travis took a picture. We're talking backstage at Flappers Comedy Club in the kitchen, and they're saying, you need to write about your kid. You need to talk about it on stage. I think that it has a lot to offer. And that was just such a trajectory in comedy to do that. So, yeah.
And you do talk about all the whole family in your act. I mean, it's not.
I do.
No sacred cows there, right?
Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. And they ask for money, and that's cool. I'll pay them. So.
Debi Gutierrez, you're going to see her at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club at MGM Grand. And we got rid of that scroll immediately as soon as you corrected me on the dates.
It's all week.
So,
it's all week. And then on the weekend, like
starts
I said,
the 8th, right?
Yeah, Monday through Sunday, including Mother's Day. So mothers do not want another robe. They don't want tea. They don't want freaking slippers or flowers that die. They want booze and adult laughs. They want
mommy comic.
Yes, come see me. We're going to have a ball.
And your website, Debi, so everybody can find you online. What is
Just my name, Debi Gutierrez. So w.debigutierrez.com. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to come and take in a show. I miss you.
Oh, thank you. I miss you too. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
And tell that hubby of yours thanks, because he connected the dots and I was being a real pain in his ass. So
no, never. No.
All right.
Okay.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. Okay. Yes. We'll see you next week.
There she goes. If you look at the list of Wayne's faves, you're going to find that name there. It took me 8 years to learn how to spell it, but I finally put the T where it's supposed to be.
Quick?
Yeah.
So my daughter and son-in-law had their baby. I'm not bringing this in. This lives here. Brad sent a teddy bear. Look how big it is.
It's huge.
Look at
just
it.
like Brad.
Look at he said it was his when he was a little boy.
Yeah, I can never imagine Brad being smaller than that bear.
She goes, Mommy, it scares the baby.
Yeah. Bigger than Grandpa.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Debi. We'll see you soon.
Okay, see you next week.
Okay, thanks for everything. Bye.
Our first guest has done it all. Her stand-up's been seen on HBO, CBS, and NBC. She won the National Peabody Award for hosting her very own show, A Place of Our Own. Please welcome Debi Gutierrez.
Oh, so I'm a mom. I can't forget for 1 minute, because as soon as you have your baby, right? That's the first thing they say, Mommy. And they don't say it like normal people either, do they? No, they get themselves right up on you like a parrot on a pirate's shoulder. Mommy, 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 Mommy. Look, Mommy, listen. Are you watching? They don't care if you're driving, do they? Turn around. Look at me. I have an idea. Want to hear my idea? I have an idea. No, little girl, all your ideas are bad. Have they ever had a good idea? Have they ever said, hey, Mommy, you take a nap, I'll empty you the dishwasher? That's a good idea. No. It's always some stupid idea that involves my wallet in the mall. That's not a good idea. I I had one of those days, ladies, you know those days, right? And when my husband came home, I was done. And we got in this huge fight. And he said, you know what, Deb? If you don't like being a mom, there's the door. And I thought to myself, I think I want the door. Right? People on the other side of the door, they know where their car keys are. They can make a sandwich if they're hungry. And he looked at me and said, oh my gosh, Deb, I just realized why you're all worn out at the end of the day and I'm not. I said, why? And he said, you care. Now, at first I was mad, right? And then I took a step back and I looked at my husband and I went, oh, brilliant. Daddies don't care. Daddies don't care. Daddy has consequences, ladies. And then he uses them, right? Daddy doesn't care. Think about it. Think about it. You're out tonight. You all have a teeny tiny purse, right? What's in your purse? A cell phone and a lipstick, and that's it, right? But during the day, aren't you rocking a big old Mary Poppin bag, right? What do you need? A bottle of water? I got a bottle of water. What do you need? A juice? I got a juice. What do you need? Your snack? I got a snack. Look at your husband. Can your husband pull a string cheese out from anywhere? No. No. Here's a dad's philosophy. If you're hungry, you should have eaten. A dad can take his kid to a football game, watch him freeze, won't he? I'm cold, Daddy. I'm so cold, Daddy. I'm cold. And Daddy goes, yeah, that's why I brought a jacket. Because when your mama said, get a jacket, Daddy listened. Let's give a hand to the dads. Let your husband come in. Let him be the backbone of your family. Ladies, you're going to have so much more time on your hands. And Daddy can do it. Let him do it. It's fun for you. My oldest child popped off at me and then slammed her bedroom door on my face, almost took off my nose. My husband calmly went downstairs, got his toolbox. What did he do? Took the door off the hinges. And then he made it fun for the other kids. Look at your sister's door. Look at your sister's door. That's funny right there. Don't feel bad. Think about this. How many times do you say get in the car in a school morning? Right? Do you ever feel like they don't even, what am I doing? Do I sound like a dolphin? What's going on? Don't you hear me? What does your husband do? Leaves. Don't feel bad for your kids. Your kid will sit right next to Dad at dinner. Daddy, remember when I didn't get in the car? I remember. That was funny. And then, Daddy, remember when I dropped my books and I was crying? I remember. That was. Remember, Mommy came out and said, "Stop the car!" I want to do that again. Now it's the end of the day, and Daddy wants a little. Some. Give me a little some, girl. How about a little some? Where's your little some? How about a little some? And there's nothing. You finally get that last kid to bed, right? Yeah, last glass of milk, last prayer, head on the pillow, and there your poor man is. Honey. Thank you very much, ladies.
Oh, man. Great memories there. That's back in the day.
Hi there, this is Kirby Scofield, Scofield Realty here in Las Vegas. Real estate is always changing, be it a buyer's market, a seller's market. At Scofield Realty, it's your market. Buying or selling, we have the team and the tools to work the market so it works for you. We are excited that we're on the Wayne Coy Show. Our results blessed us with the Zillow Flex partnership roughly about 2 years ago due to our consistent conversion and customer service scores. With conversion, that means we can close. And with our customer service scores, you know you're going to get the best service possible. We're always looking for agents led by mentorship, resources, and experience. We are your guide. Find us. Kirby4U.com. That's KIRBY, the number 4, the letter U.com. Kirby4U.com or call 702-766-95 3838.
Hey, listen to this. Share Life Vacations has a special treat for you. It's a free 3-day, 2-night getaway to either magical Orlando or exciting Las Vegas. It's your choice. Absolutely no strings attached. Share Life will also include a second vacation to your choice of over 30 additional popular resort destinations. Now, we can't give everyone a fantastic prize package like this, so to make it fair, we're going to ask you a trivia question. You get it right, you'll win it all. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. This movie is about a British Secret Service agent who is frozen in time in the 1960s. Was that movie Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery? Press 1. Diamonds Are Forever, press 2. Lethal Weapon, press 3. Got it? Well, then call 855-301-8586. 855-301-8586. That's 855-301-8586.
Do you love watching television? If you're on a fixed budget, you need to make this free call right now to Dish and find out how you can get a fixed monthly price to watch all the television you want for 3 full years. In addition to a 3-year price guarantee, you can also get free monthly movie rentals. They give you 1 free movie rental every month. That's a $165 value, yours free. Plus, get free in-home tech visits, no-cost equipment replacements, a free voice remote, and you can watch commercial-free TV. Even access all your favorite apps to stream like Netflix, Amazon Prime, YouTube, and more. Now is the perfect time to call Dish. Take advantage of the 3-year price guarantee. Save yourself some money, and all your equipment is free. Call right now.
800-586-4206. 800-586-4206. 800-586-4206. That's 800-586-4206. Paid for by NPS.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-203-3517. 800-203-3517. That's 800-203-3517.
Pine Hollow Winery is the first and only boutique winery in the Las Vegas city limits that features its own handcrafted wines. Located on the west side, just minutes from the Strip at 7018 West Charleston, Pine Hollow wines are available for tasting by the glass, bottle, or for carryout. Peach lovers, pick up a bottle of the Warm Fuzzy, which is a sweet Chardonnay-style wine made with peach and apricots. Visit PineHollowWinery.com for their events, wine menu, and hours. That's PineHollowWinery.com.
As a 3-time international award-winning restaurant, Joe's New York Pizza uses only the freshest and best available ingredients. From giant slices of hand-tossed pie to calzone, strombolis, fingers, and wings, Joe's serves all your favorites. Stop in for a slice at one of their 2 Las Vegas locations at Paradise and Harmon or South Las Vegas Boulevard, or you can check out their menu at joesnewyorkpizzalv.com.
The National Atomic Testing Museum is a national science, history, and educational institution that tells the story of America's nuclear weapons testing program at the Nevada test site. Located at 755 East Flamingo Road, just east of Paradise, the museum offers immersive, interactive experts for guests of all ages. The museum is Smithsonian certified and open 7 days a week. For more information, visit nationalatomictestingmuseum.org. That's nationalatomictestingmuseum.org.
My name is Michael Stefanski, and I'm the owner and founder of Sin City Custom Suits, custom clothing concierge. I help gentlemen get into clothes that fit them like they're supposed to, that they pick out themselves and we craft together. 600 different suit fabrics to pick from, about 40 measurements to make sure the suit's going to fit you right. Then we decide, do you want 2 buttons on the front, 3 buttons on the front, how many on the sleeve? You want like a custom photo lining for the inside of your jacket, any number of different things that you can think of. This is all about what do you want? And when you ask guys, what do you want? They don't know because they've never been given the option before. Because I help men look as absolute best as they can. It's transforming people's lives. If you've never had a suit that fits you right, you have no idea how much confidence it gives you. That's the important part. 702-767-2478. Instagram at Custom Suit Guy, SinCityCustomSuits.com.
Oh boy, we really want to thank Debi Gutierrez for bringing all the funny. I just love that lady. And don't forget, this is the perfect match for Mother's Day weekend, right? She actually starts this coming Monday. And then she is at the MGM Grand at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club starting on the 8th, Monday, all the way through Sunday, Mother's Day. The mommy comic, Debi Gutierrez. Go check her out and tell her Wayne sent you. Back with more Chris Collins and Golden Knights hockey. We'll have that convo coming up.
The world-famous radio shopping show, weekdays on 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas and KSHP.com.
You're listening to the Sports Byline USA Broadcast Network.
USA News, I'm Ryan Daniels. After several days in a manhunt searching for a suspect accused of killing 5 people over a neighborhood dispute in Texas is over. Authorities said Tuesday they arrested a man in connection to the massacre. Reports say Francisco Oropesa was taken into custody in the city of Cut and Shoot. The suspect was uninjured, caught hiding in a closet after the FBI received a tip. The White House will not discuss the paternity case involving Hunter Biden. On Monday, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was asked a very pointed question.
I wanted to ask about the trial going on in Arkansas with Hunter Biden and the child support. Are the president and First Lady monitoring that? And how come they haven't acknowledged the 7th grandchild?
I'm not going to speak to that from here.
The case was reopened when Hunter Biden tried to reduce his child support payments. And according to the 4-year-old's mom, no one from the president's family has ever seen or talked to the girl. Close to half of everyone who voted in last year's midterm elections cast their ballots before Election Day. New data from the current population survey shows that's up about 10 percentage points from the amount of people who voted early in the 2018 midterms. It might be time to bring back Spuds McKenzie for Bud Light.
Bud Light is watching its sales continue to plummet after partnering with transgender social media star Dylan Mulvaney. The latest figures show a 21% drop in sales last week. One consultant says it shows that Bud Light's core customers are ditching the brand. I'm John Schaefer.
And the James Webb Space Telescope has detected water vapor in a star system 26 light years away. According to CNN, astronomers are now trying to figure out if it could mean that it's the first known existence of an atmosphere around an exoplanet. This is USA News.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying when they really can't speak. She says her gums have been bleeding. Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Yep, New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore is professionally designed to start healing gums from day one. Right. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Smile. Crest has you covered.
Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt really soft in the store, but then when you go to use it, it's not very absorbent? That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels. Towels that work. The 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. And right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code USA, or call 800-951-8175. That's MyPillow.com, promo code
At
USA.
AR Heating
Heating and Air Conditioning, our main goal is to provide high-quality service without breaking the bank. From maintaining your HVAC units to fixing them when they are down, they are there for you. AR Heating and Air Conditioning offer reasonable prices, reliability, and professional service at a great value. For more information, go to fixmyac.net or call 702-646-4000. Beat the heat and call AR Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
Zen World Premium CBD offers full and broad spectrum CBD oil, extracts, and capsules, which are designed to help you feel your best. Their products are sourced from the best organic hemp and natural ingredients on the market and are tested for quality, purity, and potency. They have a full range of items from health and wellness to beauty to pets. Call 725-205-9223. Visit online at zenworld.com or stop by their location at 9895 South Maryland Parkway and Silverado Range Parkway. Mention KSHP for 10% off in store or use code KSHP online for 15% off.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
Now back to the Wayne Coy Show.
Oh, what a first hour. That was a lot of fun. It really was. I think we can top it. I think we should just put the challenge out there. The gauntlet has been dropped. Can we better our first hour? You know we can, because we're talking Golden Knights hockey, and there's only one guy to talk it. Talk the talk, walk the walk. Mr. Chris Collins, Mr. Hockey. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me okay? Are you technically savvy enough to get me on there?
Yeah, I got you on. It's amazing. I don't know how we did it, Chris, but we did it.
I'm just kidding. Don't listen to me. I'm just a troublemaker. That's all.
That's okay. You know what? I was assured before you started busting my balls that my balls were actually not going to move once they'd been busted. So we're good.
Well, yeah. Dude, that on our wedding day, that got taken care of. Not actually our wedding day. I'm not married to you.
Yeah,
but,
no.
yeah.
Please clarify that. Thank you. Well, what's up, man? We got a second round of playoffs here, and you called that. In fact, you said that this is a team that if they do everything they should do, they might be playing for the cup at the end, right?
Yeah, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, besides being one of the best organizations in pro sports, they've he went right out. The owner did. He got the best of the best. I know that Gary Bettman wanted him in the league, and Bill is, he's an incredible operator. He's got really high-end people, and they're not afraid to make changes. And, they don't get a lot of credit for this year, but they have had massive injuries this year. The net mining situation's ridiculous. They've gone into the AHL, brought players up, and they win. Their captain had a serious injury. He comes off that injury, and, Stone may be one of the best all-around players in the world. The only area that he has questionable, elite would be his skating. It's not elite. But you know something? He finds a way to compete every single night. Even when he's hurt, he comes off months of not being in game action, and he finds a way to be relevant, and then he goes crazy the next couple of games. This is a team that has faced every obstacle so far, and they've been able to, get up. Because, like boxing, it doesn't matter you get knocked down. Everybody gets knocked down. The old saying is that everyone's a tough guy until they get punched in the face,
That's
right?
That's right.
Then you realize, and the Golden Knights have been punched in the face a number of times. And I like the way they play. You can see at the end of games when they win, it was very obvious to me, of course, being involved at that level so many years and being involved in the game. When they won the first round, each one of those guys made sure that they made eye contact with the netminder to let him know directly how important it was that they won. And it made me really feel good.
Yeah.
As a hockey guy. I mean, they looked him in the eyes, and that is so critical because that position is staffed by lunatics anyway that want to get hit in the face with pucks coming at 95 miles an hour.
It's like you signed up to be a crash test dummy.
Right. Well, I mean, that's exactly right. And they don't worry about it. They just sort of like, man, you were just hit in an unguarded area, and you have bruises that look like you broke every bone in your body, and it's sort of like, okay, give me an ice bag, and I'm going to go back out there. So to me, it's an amazing story so far. Unfortunately, there are a number of other teams in the playoffs. In comes Connor McDavid, who is I think he's one of the 10 greatest players to ever play the game.
Yep.
And his career is just getting started. He's created another superstar in Draisaitl, who for years, on the power play, I guess he plays on the line with him. Draisaitl, a German, is an amazing talent, and he's not the greatest skater ever, but boy, he's a weapon. I mean, they've got a rookie netminder in Skinner. They've got some good young defensemen. They've got a good young coach. This is a great matchup. Edmonton is maybe the fastest team in the league, and Vegas is maybe the best coached team in the league, and they sort of bring the game to their level. This is a very, very fascinating matchup.
The big question for me, Chris, is who has the better dive bar? Is it Edmonton or is it Las Vegas?
Who has the better what now?
Who's got the better dive bars? Is it Edmonton or is it Las Vegas?
Wow. Well, that's a good question. I mean, I can tell you, being in the National Hockey League in the 90s, Edmonton had a lot of dive neighborhoods.
Yes.
They probably won't appreciate you saying that.
That's okay. That's why I asked. I've been there, and it was definitely working class. It reminded me of old Oakland, is what it reminded me of.
Yeah, it was more of a working collar town. They put a lot of money into it. They would go up and down because of the oil economy.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of money has gone in to re-beautify Edmonton, and the sands, the oil sands that were discovered, put a lot of money into the economy. And boy, nothing does and beats old Vegas, though. I mean, old Vegas, man, back in the 70s and 80s was amazing because they had such character. But yeah, you're talking about two hardworking towns, man.
Yeah,
Edmonton and Vegas.
You got to call it a draw in that regard. I think in that category, I think it's
absolutely.
pretty even.
Oh yeah.
Never thought we'd be breaking that down. But what about food?
Food in Edmonton.
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Oh yeah, Ukrainian food in Edmonton is just fantastic. I mean, we joke about it, but everybody in Edmonton, their last name ended with the word Chuck. And in Nevada, everybody's last name ends with the word money. So it's good.
Okay, how many games is this round going to go?
This could go 7.
Oof.
This could easily go 7.
Boy,
Brossois is going to have to. I don't see why they wouldn't play Brossois. If Brossois is going to start between the pipes for Vegas, he's going to have to be very, very good. Edmonton, they are so quick onto the puck. They're regrouped no matter where they are on the ice, okay? And you can even understand this, okay? If there's a turnover in the Vegas end, you watch how quick they regroup. If it's in the neutral zone, watch how they regroup.
Yep.
In their own end, watch how they come out. And I actually have one of the kids on this team at 13 played for me, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who was a 100-point scorer. I knew him when he was young, before he grew, and he was one of the top prospects in the world for many years. He's another phenomenal talent they have. I mean, they're deep. Their problem is that they're young, okay? But they've got some experience now. So, does it overcome the stars that make up the Vegas lineup? We're going to see. But Brossois is going to have to be good. Skinner in net for Edmonton's going to have to be better than Brossois. And I think that's fair. I mean, netminders in hockey, Wayne, are a lot like quarterbacks in football.
Yeah.
Because, they control the pace and they control the real estate. What gets taken, what doesn't. Sure, the game's won in the trenches. Guess what? In hockey, the game is won in the trenches of the real estate. So the netties, as I like to call them, they have to be good, real good.
Do you really call them the netties? That's real?
Oh, yeah. Among other, well, if they give up too many goals, I call them something other than that.
I'm
But,
sure
yeah.
you do. Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, I would never do that.
Well, if this does go 7, do you then start thinking that maybe fatigue is going to be an issue moving on for either team?
Fatigue is already an issue because you see, I mean, it's not going to be to the average fan, but I mean, we can see it. Those of us that have been at the game at the highest levels. The other night, I was watching Seattle and Colorado. Seattle's going to be a problem for everybody. Okay, if you don't mind me jumping into this, and I'll explain why. Seattle is a young team that was built by a phenomenal hockey guy, and Ronnie Francis. Ronnie was a winner for years in Hartford, got moved to Pittsburgh, joined Mario, Yammer Yager, Paul Coffey. I mean, he had the whole group there, and he learned how to win there. He built Carolina. New ownership came in, and for whatever reason, Ronnie decided he was not going to be part of that, okay? He left a phenomenal organization. He and Peter Carmonis, the owner, who sold that team. Phenomenal. Carolina's been good. They put a great coach in, okay? So Ronnie then gets the Seattle job with the Kraken. And a lot of people don't talk about this, but since you and I are A's fanatics and Raiders fanatics, I will tell you this, and they will not admit this, but it's so blatantly obvious to me what's going on. They hired one of the best analytics people, up-and-comers, in the National Hockey League, and she is widely respected. She is really good, and they played a Colorado team that, their captain was out the whole series, and Colorado was soft, which was one of the reasons they didn't win, because they're immensely talented. But the analytics side, Seattle knew that if they could get their netminder, a former Colorado netminder, to stand up and play hard, that they could beat these guys in a 7-game series. And they did. They shut them down. And analytics has a lot to do with it this whole year, as Dallas is going to find out. And, the Kraken, it cracks me up, but there's no pun intended there.
I heard what you did there. That was good.
Morning show radio guy in me, but you bring it out of me. But they definitely are utilizing analytics here. They've utilized it all year long. The important thing is they play as one, and that is brutally hard to get a group to buy in as one. It means they either all hate the coach and they play as one to prove him wrong, or they all love the situation and the coach is just sort of in there changing the lineup and they're going for it. They're going to be difficult right now. They're going to be tough to play for anybody. So I want to throw that out.
So analytics in hockey, is that is that new, or have they been doing it as long as baseball and other sports?
Well, I mean, baseball had some of the biggest dinosaurs in scouting. I will tell you that years ago, Peter Carmonis, when he ran Carolina at one time, got rid of all the scouts and said, we're going to do our own scouting program. I don't need them, and I don't need to be part of central scouting. And there were guys like me that were doing video digitizing for Billy Bean and for Rick Peterson that cheered them on because we knew what was there with analytics. Mm-hmm. There were very few people involved, and the A's were the first to go head over heels. Billy was a genius for doing it. The NHL's had a lot of old dog dinosaurs in the scouting area, and it's very pro-Canadian, Canadian scouts. It's part of our Canada first kind of mentality. So you won't hear a lot about it, but yeah, they're all adding analytics people. The buy-in has been more difficult, but I'm telling you right now, Seattle is 100% in on analytics. It showed all year long. A second-year team coming back with 20 more wins, okay, and knocking out the defending Stanley Cup champions, and I mean putting their butts at their strength.
Right.
And beating them, yeah, I'd say analytics are part of it.
Okay.
So does that mean everybody will do this? I don't know. I'm just telling you what's at play here.
Hey, you should write a book and call it Money Puck.
Money Puck, yeah. Gee, where did we hear that from?
I don't know. It's just got a good ring to it,
yeah.
though. All right.
Yeah, they wouldn't want me to write a book about scouting and about player evaluation.
Hey, if you write a book, I'm going to tell you right now, if you write a book, I'm buying copy number 1 because you have more stories than anybody I know.
Well, listen, some people tell me on Facebook I write books every day.
Well, you do. And then you get kicked off for like a couple of weeks, and then you come back.
Hey, I've had 49 suspensions of 31 days or more on Facebook since 2007.
Oh, my God.
49.
You're a troublemaker, Collins. You're a troublemaker.
Well, as I used to say as the morning guy, when they would bring me in and want to sign me to a deal, I said, my number one rule, every human is entitled to my opinion 56 minutes per hour.
And I'm sure you delivered.
You can see why I don't work in radio anymore.
Yeah,
right?
you and me both. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, you promise you're going to keep us up to date and on the edge of what's happening as this series moves on, right?
Watch the Draisaitl line. They've split them up. So Draisaitl's doing the second line, and McDavid's the first line. Watch who is playing with each of those guys, okay? And watch the line matching by Bruce when those two lines come out, what he does, okay? Because that matchup will decide the series with the netminders. Remember, I told you here first, don't be surprised if it goes 7, because fatigue will play a part. Even if they say, oh, no, we all feel great. They don't. I've been there. No one feels good. You just don't want to be badly injured because everyone is injured right now.
Sure.
That's another thing. If you don't play hurt in the NHL, you don't play.
There you
That's
go.
the rule.
Survival of the fittest. That's what we call it when we get to this part of the season, I think. All right.
And I think you and I should do a morning show together.
Okay, Chris, I'm in. I got the headphones for you, and I'm ready to go. So just say the word.
All right. All right.
Okay. All right. There you go.
All right, man.
Chris Collins, have a great night,
brother.
sir. And I love that you you didn't let me down. You're in the car. I appreciate that.
There you go.
Okay. Chris is there, and he'll be right here with more hockey as we move along, and we say, go Golden Knights.
Hey, listen to this. Share Life Vacations has a special treat for you. It's a free 3-day, 2-night getaway to either magical Orlando or exciting Las Vegas. It's your choice. Absolutely no strings attached. Share Life will also include a second vacation to your choice of over 30 additional popular resort destinations. Now, we can't give everyone a fantastic prize package like this, so to make it fair, we're going to ask you a trivia question. You get it right, you'll win it all. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. This movie is about a British Secret Service agent who is frozen in time in the 1960s. Was that movie Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery? Press 1. Diamonds are forever. Press 2. Lethal Weapon. Press 3. Got it? Well, then call 855-301-8586. 855-301-8586. That's 855-301-8586.
Now back to the Wayne Coy Show.
Thanks again to Debi Gutierrez. You'll see her at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club at MGM Grand starting next Monday all the way through Mother's Day.
Live from Las Vegas, this is the Wayne Coy Show.
We got to get you in the right mood here. Set the table. My magic organ.
Yesterday in the East Bay.
Imagine the heavy heart that he's got right now, and probably the rest of his career and life, he's going to have a heavy heart for his mom.
Mom had a great sense of humor. She was talking only recently about her boys, the Piscotty boys, playing naked wiffle ball in the backyard growing up.
That's what it takes to get you to the show.
And now the 0-2 pitch. And Steven, a drive to left, headed for the monster, and over the monster, and gone. And Piscotty has given the A's a 3-0 lead. A tremendous shot over the green monster in left field, and 3-0 A's in the second.
Well, that was a magic moment there as Steven Piscotty, who at that time played for the Oakland A's, hit a home run in his first at-bat after his mom passed. Well, the years have gone by, but the pain is still there. There's no way around that. But the good news is that they've taken all of that emotion, the whole family has, and redirected it. And if you're new to ALS Cure, here's an opportunity for you to find out everything you need to know about it and meet the guy who's really behind it. That's Steven's dad, Mike Piscotty, who's on with us right now. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Wayne, so great to see you. I've heard of you from you a bit since you've been to Vegas. Like, I always think you're one of the guys with the biggest smile and the biggest heart, and so it's great to see you. Even love you sporting the silver and black there, big guy.
Yeah, that's not going to change. In fact, I told them they followed me here. We'll get into
have the A's following you.
I was
going
to
to
say we'll get into maybe that as well, a double follow. But all right, well, we'll catch us up. First of all, how old is Steven now?
Steven is 32.
32. Okay, and he has how many brothers?
He has two. Steven's the oldest. He's 32. Nick's the middle boy. He's 30, and he played little ball himself. He was drafted out of high school as a pitcher by the Royals, but he went to Duke instead, and then ended up having some arm issues. But so he got to play a little ball. My youngest, Austin, was a shortstop at St. Mary's College. Got drafted by the A's, and now he's an accountant. So Steven's still hanging on a little bit.
Oh yeah,
baseball, and he's now with the White Sox organization.
Which is kind of crazy, right? Because I know he was in the Midwest before with the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. So this is a little bit of a return to that part of the country for him. Does he like it there in the Midwest?
Yeah, particularly, in the St. Louis, Kansas City area, those are just some of the best baseball fans, that are around.
You can say barbecue, Mike. It's okay.
But he's actually excited to see if he can get called back up with the White Sox. He's in AAA, kind of getting the swing back now, and now that they've picked him up on a minor league contract, he's up to get an opportunity up there. It'll be great. The Cardinals were playing the White Sox when he had his first at bat in the majors.
So there you go. It's what's the word? It's serendipity.
There you go. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, right. So he was with the Giants for a minute, right? And that would have been kind of nice because it would have been close for Dad to get out to the ballpark.
Yeah, we're hopeful. We're grateful the Giants gave an opportunity in spring training, and he had a good spring.
He did. It's just a crowded outfield over there.
So we were a little surprised that he got released, but all in all, you work hard and good things will happen to you.
Heck yeah. So by way again of introduction, if you don't mind, we heard that piece there at the beginning where Steven hit that home run. Yeah. Can you take us back to, I guess maybe from first of all, your wife was just a trooper. She was at every game for all the boys, as were you. And then you got this news. So how did you deal with that?
Well, it was an interesting life. We raised our family, in Pleasanton, Livermore area. I coached a lot of baseball. There were times that I coached all three teams at the same time because I'm a bit of a nut like that. And Gretchen supported me in that, and she was just the ultimate team mom. Fast forward after she passed, we were given the George Bush Little League Parents of the Year award.
Whoa.
A little bit after that, and it was an organization that we truly grew up with, appreciated when the boys were younger, and life was kind of going kind of good. Steven was actually with the Cardinals at that point. Nick was pitching at Duke. Austin, I think, probably don't know if he had started at St. Mary's or not at that point, but life was kind of going along, and then Gretchen started feeling some symptoms in her, of like drop foot. She was under her gait. I remember walking through St. Louis in the airport. And she goes, "Do you hear my gait sounds kind of funny?" And she's kind of a complop sort of thing. So we went and had it looked at, and for a long time, people thought it might be her back. There's some sort of nerve damage, and so you start down this path where you're kind of investigating a lot of things. She actually had a back surgery. And when that didn't do it, we started seeing neurologists, and then you do tons of the nerve tests, and then you start doing this stuff where you're getting tests for Parkinson's and heavy metals and a number of these neurological things that cause neurological disease, and you're hoping you have one of them, because the last thing when you don't have it, the diagnosis is ALS, and unfortunately. That happened, and we were at UCSF, good people there, but it's just the hardest thing. Gretchen called it the day the bomb dropped, and you just really kind of I remember sitting in the parking lot afterwards, just thinking, well, we know that this is not a curable disease, right? At this point, and you're just going to make a pact to make every day is the greatest day be, because that's the day God's given you, right? So we started off on that path. And
how much did you know about ALS? I'm guessing nothing really, right?
Very little, honestly. I knew of Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah.
Funny kind of her. Stephen in high school had to write an essay, and he chose Lou Gehrig. And
seriously,
I remember, yeah,
before Gretchen was diagnosed. Wow.
When Steve was in high school. And so,
wow.
I edited it a little bit too. So I probably learned my little bit about ALS probably from reading his high school term paper.
Yeah. So this is a learning curve for the whole family. How's Gretchen's demeanor and her attitude and her spirit? How is all of that throughout it all?
She was an amazing, she's always been an amazing person. She was a very social person, just had tons of friends. And she's one of those type of people that you would talk to, and she wants to hear about how you're doing, right? And so that's kind of how she went, and that endeared her to a lot of people. And those friends really came around and supported her tremendously during this time. At some point, you become, with ALS, basically what happens with ALS is your nerves break down, in a sense, the ones that transmit the signal from your brain to your muscles to move. And those are called motor neuron cells. They make up your nervous system. And those motor neuron cells in ALS die for some reason. We don't know why, but they do. And so you kind of, as they're dying, you lose the ability to control different muscles in your body, right? And so it's a progression, right? You start off, you're having trouble walking, and maybe one day now you can't walk anymore. Now you're in a wheelchair. Maybe one day you can't swallow, or you have a hard time breathing, and so your body's just
breaking down,
really losing its ability to control the muscles that need to keep you alive. And as we started getting into more of the paralysis state, if you will, where you can't really move your legs or your arms all that much. I had just we call them the night angels. There were 6 of Gretchen's friends that would come one every night, and I'd start off with Gretchen in the bed. I was still trying to work half time, and so I would stay there till maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, and then I'd kind of tag out, and then the night angel would come in, one of our friends, and help her with the rest of the day, and I'd go off work till noon and get back.
Wow.
And take care of things. So I was Gretchen's caregiver, in a sense, along with his team. As someone becomes paralyzed and you can't move, you have to go from your chair to the bed to the toilet to the
and that all involves somebody else.
And all these lifts, and so I did every lift for her. I was, glad that I could, and I had the strength to do it, and so it was a fair amount of work. She always kept a great attitude about it. she always welcomed her friends, and it's something that as I talk to a lot of people about ALS, Wayne, and they call me and say, hey, an uncle or a sister or somebody has just been diagnosed, and would you mind talking to them about it? I spend that time because I've been there, right? I walked those that path, and Gretchen was just amazing. We were so proud of her, and really one of the reasons that clearly we just had a lot of love for her, but we were also so I guess honored and proud of her about how she was. She brought let ESPN come in for 2 days.
Oh, that piece is something else, man. I mean,
so. Woof. It was not showing her in her best light. We got all kinds of equipment on her, and she said, as long as nobody has to suffer my fate, bring them on. So, we really felt that after she passed, it took me about a month to decompress. I remember I was on working out at the club, and I saw that Dwight Clark passed away about a month after Gretchen did.
ALS as well, yeah.
It was ALS, and so that was kind of I took that as my, little cue to get off the couch, to stop pouting, and honor her. So that's basically when I decided that we would, really start looking into how we could work towards getting us a cure for ALS. And I started learning a lot at that point.
How are the boys at this point? I mean, obviously, besides being distraught after losing their mom, were they also like, look, Dad, we got to make a difference, and we're into whatever we have to do, we're going to do it?
Yeah, everybody grieves in a different way, Wayne. And I think they came in more gradually. I wouldn't say, we decided we wanted to do this, but it's really painful, right? And so it took them just a little bit of time. It was just really a matter of months. And then once we got going, Stephen really stepped up for sure. And, being kind of the face, since he's a celebrity a bit in terms of the major baseball piece, we thought that could help. And the other boys took other roles, and there we went off down the road trying to figure out, speaking of roles, I was, the Oakland A's have been huge supporters of me. And, they put me on payroll as the ALS, what was my advocate or something like that. And so they actually funded me to go to international ALS conferences to learn about where we were with the research and trying to. Okay,
then fine. I take back everything I've said in the last week. No, I don't. Okay, so that's
hard. I was a season ticket holder for about 35 years. Yeah, this is a little challenging for me.
Same boat
as well.
Well, okay, well that's cool, and that gave you a chance to sort of spread the gospel. And I've been indoctrinated. I've been able to sort of see up close what your organization does. It's ALS Cure, not to be confused with any other organization that's out there. What makes you unique, though, is every penny that you raise goes towards finding a cure, correct?
Yeah, we're that is a unique aspect, and I'm really happy with it. Comes with its own challenges a bit, but we're 100% volunteer. We have 9 board members, all work gratis. I've got a research council of some of the top ALS doctors in the country, and they all work gratis on the research council as well, and advice, give us some advice. But yeah, we pay. I think it's probably 98% on us. I think we have to pay for MailChimp and a few things, but we don't have any salaries to pay, no offices to rent, and no lavish board retreats for us. So we're real serious about really leveraging the dollars that come in. We raise them privately, so it's through things like golf tournaments and country music concerts, and we got a Top Golf event coming up, dinner galas, and then obviously you get some straight donations as well. But when that money comes in, it's gold to us, and we work real hard to make sure it goes to the research that we think is the most I don't urgently needed to get us towards a cure. I kind of want people to know that, with ALS right now, we don't have, obviously, we don't have a cure. We don't know why the disease starts. We don't know why it progresses. And we really don't have a biomarker, which is also known as a test for ALS, which is why, Gretchen went through, I mentioned all those different tests. And when you don't have one of those, you have ALS. Well, things really haven't changed that much since Gretchen passed in terms of that. But one of the things that's important, Wayne, is we have to come up with a target for the therapies. I tell people, think of the COVID ball, right? Everybody can think of that little spike ball.
Yeah.
Now we see that, and guess what? Now there's vaccines, right? And so there's treatments. And then with ALS, we don't have that COVID ball. So not having the knowledge about why the disease starts and progresses and tests, this inhibits the pharmaceutical companies from wanting to invest because it's too risky. And so we're trying to de-risk that.
Do they feel like they're just spending money and they're not going to see any results for what they're putting in?
Drug companies are kind of like oil companies. If you look at it from a business model, they prospect, right? They take 10 or 12 drugs that they invest lots of money in, and if one of them hits, it carries the whole company, right? But to get them to put that kind of money into drug development for ALS doesn't make sense because they don't really know what they're targeting.
Right.
There's a few cases. There's one, the SOD1. There's just an announcement that SOD1, there's a therapy that was developed for it, and it's a bit of an anomaly in ALS. It accounts for about 3% of the ALS patients. It's genetic. It's horrible. So can be passed down 50-50 chance to your kids.
Wow, I did not know that. Really, 50%.
Yeah, 50-50 chance, right?
Wow.
So if you have a child, you have ALS, you have the gene, you and your wife have a child, that gene has a 50-50 chance of going into that child, right? And there's others. There's C9orf, there's a few others, but this SOD1, it was awesome. FDA approved an early access drug that hopefully will help some in that for those SOD1 patients. It's not, I don't believe, a cure. I think it's still a bit of a slow it down drug where, and there's a few out there that people have tried that hopefully will slow the disease progression down, right? And if given early, it's good. If you're in the latter stages of ALS and your quality of life isn't that great, being kind of fully paralyzed and not be able to breathe on your own, and you may or may not want that to go on much longer, right?
Right. No, that's
almost like you're on life support, right?
And it's not just a U.S. thing. I mean, this is a disease that is around the world. How is the rest of the world in terms of awareness and activity?
It's amazingly, I would say in Europe, Canada, Australia, or some Italy, Netherlands, I guess all of Europe, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There's some fairly active research going on there. And, one of the things that we do, I mentioned I coached a lot and a lot. But I believe in teamwork and synergy. You always show up with 12 kids every year, and you don't need 12 shortstops, right? So everybody's got to find their role in order for that team to be effective. And so we, I really wanted to get more of a team, really an international team to the table here. And so I started this about 2 years ago during COVID. Actually, it was 3 years ago during COVID. I started something called the ALS Innovation Symposium. And that year, I think we had about 85 international researchers, like from 5 countries.
Mm-hmm.
And we got them together in workshop style to allow them to just communicate with each other, collaborate, look for synergistic ideas, novel ideas. We created our first roadmap to a cure strategic document. That grew. Next year, I think we had 115 researchers. This year, I think we're at 150 at this point. We're great. We have 150 international researchers from 19 nations represented, and it's the same sort of format. We had an awesome virtual platform. You show up into the plenary session, and then we create. We have an advisory council, international advisory council. We create topics and questions for the breakouts, And these researchers, who many of them have never met each other before, get into these workshops, and it's amazing what comes out of them, Wayne. Actually, I got goosebumps thinking about it right now. And this is the kind of
that's how you get a cure, I think, right? You get people that are all working on it separately, and then they share information. It's like, really, I thought that too, and then you go down that path, maybe.
Yeah, last year, Wayne, we funded. We wanted to do a little more than just create a plan. So we funded $150,000 worth of seed research projects. There was 3 that were selected, and doing some amazing work. One of them, for instance, is using organoids that are developed from stem cells in the Netherlands at the University of Utrecht. And that project is working with Lawrence Livermore Lab that has a brain on the chip platform. And you can think of these motor neuron cells with electrodes on them. And so it's able to, you're able to simulate in a dish. They're able to grow motor neurons in a dish, first of all, and they're able to actually connect to each other. They have these little things called axons that are like roots. And those roots are what allows one cell to connect to the next, right? It's called an axon. And so now we have that on at Livermore with the brain on chip, and they're working with the organoid folks in the Netherlands. And so this kind of, really out of the box sort of thinking, right?
Yeah.
They would have never connected if they hadn't come to the symposium and had those conversations. So, all I'm doing is providing a platform, right? And then trying to get people together give them an opportunity to have the discussions. We try to raise some of our funds and incent them to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Our seed research projects require minimum of 2 researchers from 2 different countries have to be involved in order to do it, because we're really trying to put our money where our mouth is about wanting international teams.
Well, and speaking of, I mean, it's obviously not inexpensive. Research is expensive, right? Oh, yeah. So it's a never-ending need for you to continue to keep putting gas in the car, because if you don't, all the work you've done up to this point, it would be a horrible thing. So we have to keep it going, right?
Absolutely. It's very, very helpful to keep the machine oiled and keep it moving. I mean, the more we can do, I'm always very excited to see the new roadmap each year, right? And some tremendous opportunities there. And yet we can only fund a portion of it, right? And so the more funds we raise, the more we can support that. Certainly, folks, hear this and there's interest in wanting to fund a seed research project, maybe that doesn't make the cut. It won't be because it's not a good idea. Mm-hmm. It's going to be because we ran out of money.
Of course.
Right. And, but what I've seen, and the reason we've chosen to do seed, we're not giving out money like DOD and NIH and others, but we wanted to be impactful. So we're working on, again, the basic research, but we're trying to be novel, and we're trying to do this. What I think is very helpful is when you do these seed projects, because oftentimes a new collaboration gets formed, and it could be a very awesome idea, like the organoids and brain on the chip, for instance. And that work in itself could then be, those researchers could apply for larger grants from the government.
Okay.
For instance, right? And then so that money kind of magnifies itself, right?
Sure.
So that's why we call it seed, because we hope that when we choose something, that they'll have an opportunity then to continue that work.
And it grows. Yeah.
And it grows. Yeah.
So how can people help? If you're hearing this right now, whether you live in the Bay Area, you live in Las Vegas, or anywhere around the world, what can people do?
Particularly folks that are around the world, the best thing that, is to donate. We are a 501(c) charity. You get your tax receipts, all of that. You can do that at alscure.org.
Okay.
alscure.org, and you can donate. We welcome donations. They can also reach out to me. You have to let me know if I can share my email here. I don't know if I can.
You can do whatever you want, Mike. It's my show. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm Mike P. MIKEP.
P for Piscotty.
At alscure.net. And if you have any ideas, sometimes, it's great if folks have the discretionary money, but not, in this economy, not everybody has it, right?
Right.
To be honest, but and every little bit helps. That's one way. Others are to maybe have a novel idea on how we can do a fundraiser. We're looking at doing one up on a boat up in Seattle this summer and some other things. I'm always wanting to have fun with our events. So I always say we put the fun in fundraising.
Well, probably, I think the most viral fundraise ever started on the internet, and it was ALS that got it going, correct?
Yep. That was the bucket challenge, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm very open to ideas if folks have that. Or, again, it may not be that you have that much discretionary money to donate, but maybe you have a great idea that you think would be fantastic in your neck of the woods, wherever that might be.
Or time, right?
Feel free to reach out because we don't mind traveling and trying to support. It's something that we work hard at and again, that's how we put gas in the tank, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
sure. Well, we've got a Top Golf here, been here for a little while. So if this event that you're about to do does as well as I think it's going to, I think you need to bring the show to Vegas. And how about Boise, Idaho? They just got a brand new Top Golf.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It is so much fun, Wayne. I'd like to do more of them, honestly. We did it last year. And in the San Jose Top Golf, it was brand new last year. Beautiful facility, great, decor, and it was, people had the most fun. Oh my goodness! We get together for about 3 hours, and basically we're eating and drinking and golfing, right?
Yeah.
And playing these games, and they're, you don't have to be any good at it, right? Which is awesome. There's all kind. We put different games up there. Some are for the experts, and some are just for fun, but people are hooting,
that's the secret.
Oh my God.
I think, Mike, the secret is that you don't have to be a golfer to go to Top Golf and just have a great time.
Yeah, and we have a spectator ticket. If you want to just come and enjoy in on the fun, that's great. Or it really is a hoot, and we're excited. We'll have some former players there, major league players. I think Mighty Joe Blanton from the A's is
all right.
Come, and Aaron Miles is coming, and there's a guy who I can't wait to meet. I haven't met him yet. I've seen some interviews. His name is Tiny Felder, and played for the Giants and an outfielder. And I'm really excited to have him. I think he's going to be a hoot. And we're hoping maybe a few of the Giants guys might show up. We got an off day for the Giants, so we're still hopeful that a couple will.
So you haven't completely disowned them, because they cut Steven. So you didn't.
I'm a baseball fan, and it's it's when it comes down to it, it's a business is a business. It clearly didn't feel great,
right?
But we're glad he landed on his feet, and
I like how you just move on. I live vicariously through you in that regard. Because I linger, and I probably shouldn't. So we got to get a cure for this thing, Mike. I know it's something that you guys are working hard on, and I just think that, this is May 1st, and this is ALS Awareness Month. So we're starting off on the first day of the month. We wasted no time. So if you have questions, one more time, please give out that website. It's alscure.org. Do I have that right?
alscure.org.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. And when is the Top Golf event in San Jose?
San Jose, it's May 18th. It's a
coming
Thursday. Going to be some awesome food. We got some great food. Drinks are wonderful, and guaranteed to have a good time. It'll put a smile on your face, and we'll do some good for folks that are suffering this disease. So,
man, I just
would love to see you guys come out.
I love your spirit, Mike. I love all the hard work that you've put in. And I love the fact that, it won't be for naught, no matter what. I mean, the ball's definitely being kicked down the road, and somebody has to be able to be kind of up at the front of the line. Leaders lead in times like this. And that's what you do. So thank you very much for that.
I appreciate that. When we called this the ALS Cure Project because projects have an end, and the end for us is when we have a cure. Yeah. And then I go fishing, and and that's it. So we're not looking to materially benefit from this. We're just, we I don't want that day anymore to come where I hear the next person calls, hey, my sister has ALS.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. We just kind of want to get that over with. I really think that technology exists, and if we put an international team together, we're gonna come up with a cure. I just really want to reach out. Thank you again. I'm glad I wore my colorful shirt because I knew you'd be wearing something.
Heck yeah.
I had no idea what you were going to wear, but I had an idea it was going to be.
You got the memo, even though I didn't send one.
No, I just know you. That's all it is.
Thank you, sir. Mike Piscotty.
Thanks for inviting me on, buddy.
You got it. He is the president of the ALS Cure Project charity. And again, if you want to go to the website, alscure.org/donate, if you can do that, that would be great for you to do. It is ALS Awareness Month. And I guess the main thing is find out as much about it as you can and then tell other people and get involved. Don't just sit on the sidelines. Help out if you can. And a cure can be done. We can get there. Okay.
Amazing Grace, which is, the song that he used to play when he was in the crib in a little music box. It's a very soothing song for the soul. It's a song that she used to play for me. I've always loved that song.
Stephen Piscotty was born and raised in Pleasanton, California, a city just 23 miles from Oakland Coliseum, home of the Athletics.
This family was rooting for the Oakland A's growing up. Our boys just loved it. Went to A's games since Stephen was 5.
Mike Piscotty coached baseball for all 3 of his boys, Stephen, Nick, and Austin. Their mom, Gretchen, their biggest fan, always documenting their success from behind the camera.
Her go-to saying was always, knock the snot out of it.
Come on, knock the snot out of it. What are you saying?
She was always there. She had one of those fold-out chairs and a couple of blankets, and I think she really enjoyed just being there watching us.
Baseball would play a big part in Stephen's life. After starring at Stanford University, the St. Louis Cardinals drafted him 36th overall in 2012. He made his major league debut in 2015, finishing 6th in Rookie of the Year voting after hitting .305.
Stephen Piscotty will touch them all.
The next season, Stephen hammered 22 home runs and tallied 85 RBI. In the spring of 2017, he had just signed a long-term deal to stay in St. Louis when he got a call from his parents.
Picked up the phone. It was my mom, and she told me that she was diagnosed with ALS. I didn't believe it. That's the day Gretchen describes as when the bomb dropped. You're just numb. It's like you're in shock.
Commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS is a progressive neurodegenerative disorder where the body's muscles weaken over time, but the mind remains intact. There is no cure.
ALS is brutal, and it's relentless. And the doctor that we've been working closely with hasn't seen a case move this fast in all his years.
Mike Matheny, our manager, would always relay to me that this was weighing on Stephen, that it's something that he's thinking about, that's affecting him.
I'm not a big crier, but I haven't cried so much in the last year and a half, I think, my whole life. It was very, very difficult. I wanted to be with my mom.
Stephen knew where he needed to be, and apparently so did the Cardinals.
The Cardinals have traded outfielder Stephen Piscotty to the Athletics.
Billy Bean and I were able to work out a deal that sort of was a win-win for both. And I mean that not only from a baseball standpoint, but also for Stephen on a personal level, because now he's in his backyard.
I'm so grateful. I can't imagine being 2,000 miles away from all of what's going on.
Are you avoiding that? Gonna sit here, Steven?
Love you. You just watch that. You want me to do it the right way? You want me to do it the right way? I want time to slow down. It just doesn't work that way. But, you know, we're doing the best we can.
No pressure on boys. Come on!
3. That's 4. 5.
The Piscotties know Gretchen doesn't have much time.
She comes to the game. You know, it's awesome. It gives me a little extra fire.
They treasure these trips to the ballpark, where, even without her trademark cheer, she can still support her son, like she did all those years ago.
So Piscotty with a one-out walk. Piscotty headed for third. Matty Williams is waving him home, and Piscotty will score.
Every night ends the same. Stephen and his family spend the last few hours of the day soothing Gretchen into a peaceful sleep.
Bedtime routine is it's a lot. We'll help lift her into the bed, and then we have to kind of rotate her body to make sure she's perfectly straight and there's nothing out of whack. That way she feels comfortable. It's hard on her, so she gets pretty tired, and it's a great night when she falls asleep fast. Amazing Grace. I'll usually end playing the guitar with Amazing Grace. It's definitely emotional, playing it. And it's kind of like a full circle aspect going on there, and it gives me a little bit of peace, and I hope that it does the same for her. But now I see. It's important to spend time with her because we're running out of it, and just try to cherish every moment. Like me, I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
The world-famous radio shopping show, weekdays on 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas and KSHP.com.
By counties. The television and film writers took the streets in New York City as they entered the first full day of a nation